on air. Episode 65 of Gameplayer. So everyone, we're missing Viper, but besides that, we got almost everyone. I'm curious if what is, hmm?
I said who? Go ahead, dude.
I'm curious what his name. Remaya was supposed to join. And شو اسمه sorry let's get to our intros. Nate, how are you, man? What you been playing?
Yeah, I'm good. Um, right now, I'm finishing up the platinum for Hogwarts. I'm extremely close now. Um, it's part of it's been enjoyable, mainly tedious at the end, but I really enjoyed the game, so that's really why I'm pushing for it. Um, it makes me realize how much sleepless sleepless nights both Morgan and Priscilla put in racing each other to get this damn platinum because it is extremely tedious, especially when
I
you
would
get to
call
the
it a race.
later.
I dog walked Priscilla, but it's okay.
Oh
You know,
wow! All right, ma'am, an hour.
You call an hour dog walking.
that's because I took a nap for like 5 hours and she caught up. So even after a
That's your
nap,
fault.
I still won. You know what I'm saying?
You did win. You
I like
won.
I like it was a race and I took I was like the rabbit. I took a
Oh
nap
You
man.
know what?
and still
You
sweat.
actually, I think
Okay.
you cheated because you took off like three
Oh,
days of work to beat her.
how that's
So
cheating,
there's no,
ma'am.
yeah.
She had like three off. She only works like 3 days out the week. Okay.
Well,
In order
she
to
did.
compete with that,
She did
I
a
have to take days
60K.
off.
She did a 60K. You did a
Nah, I ain't trying to hear all
60K.
that.
You did a
That was
regular.
voluntary. Okay, that wasn't required. She
Oh man,
chose to do that. I'm not trying to hear that.
I love y'all.
Nah,
Yes, you won, clean and clear. It is what it is. You
that's
won.
right.
You won a
Queen
hundred
over
percent.
here. That's right.
Um, and then obviously finishing up Fire Emblem Engage still with the new DLC, which the new DLC is great, giving me more emblems, which I'm not mad at, which makes your characters that much more powerful and able to contend with a lot of the stronger enemies. And starting uh, Octopath Traveler 2 with Morgan the other night, which has been nothing but an incredible experience from the onset. The OST, the characters. It is probably the first time in a very, very long time where I can honestly say it feels like it reminds me of the care that developers used to put into JRPGs during the PS1 era, where each town and each place felt unique. And when someone plays that song, you feel like it'll pull you back to that area or that place that you visited. I think they just did an incredible job with it so far. And yeah, I'm loving every minute of it. But that's what I'm playing.
Nice, nice, nice. About Hogwarts, I dude, there is one glitch. Apparently, I might have that issue, which is when you need to follow the butterfly and you need to go back right away and don't take a detour. I hope I didn't, otherwise, I'm locked out of the platinum.
Yeah, I was kind of
Um,
concerned about the butterfly thing. Like if I didn't follow them at some point, I thought I missed one, but I didn't. But yeah, I kind of wondered like how long would it take for them to reset, or what would they reset, or what was going on with that. But yeah, hopefully you're not. But I mean, I wouldn't assume just yet because there's some stuff I thought was glitched, and it turns out I was fine. So
mm-hmm. Weave, how are you, man? What you been playing?
Chopping wood. Uh, I've been playing Samus Returns for the 3DS. I finished that a few days ago. Absolutely a banger. It was the one Metroid game that I hadn't played yet because I missed out on the 3DS. So back in the day. So was happy to be able to play it finally. Great remake of it was a Game Boy classic, and yeah, I mean after having finished Dread, going back to it and also seeing how neatly it ties into the story of Dread. Yeah, amazing. It's definitely the king of Metroidvania, hence the name. Other than that, I've played the demo for Humanity. It's interesting, but I'm not sure if it's for me. It but it's definitely a creative puzzle game. So yeah, if I think the demo is like a limited time demo. So if you want to check it out, I guess you have to hurry. And other than that, I've been playing Like a Dragon Ishin, which has been amazing so far. Um, Definitely, yeah. Of course, the it's a Yakuza game, so it's going to be great either way because it's probably the best franchise ever made. Um,
Facts.
Thank you. But yeah, this one also pretty cool because it's yeah, a historical setting, so it takes place in the Bakumatsu era, which Omar of course knows what it is because he watches a lot of anime. And yeah, it's definitely uh, familiar but also different. You yeah, you're basically a samurai, so you use your sword. You can switch up between yeah, I've also have a brawler style, but you either use brawler, sword, gun, or a combination of sword and gun. And it's pretty cool how it works and how you can switch between the styles, and definitely feels a bit more challenging than prior games because enemies do tend to block more, and most of them are armed from the get go because yeah, you're in the samurai era. Um, yeah, I mean, pretty early into it, but I'm already completely engrossed into it, and it gives you a lot of freedom to explore and follow the story, either order you want. Um, so I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna be spending a lot of time playing. Hopefully, gonna platinum it this time because the Yakuza games are notoriously hard to platinum since they always have that one trophy that's very either grindy or very difficult to get because you have to be some sort of like a mahjong champion or really good at karaoke games. So I hope that this one is little more lenient in that regard, but we'll see. Um, and that's it, I guess.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Morgan, how are you, lady? What you been playing?
What's up? Good. Um, beat Hogwarts Legacy, platinum that. Had a really great time with that. Um, I could see that as kind of early now, but I could see that definitely as a game of the year contender if things continue with that. Played Deliver Us Mars, really good indie game. Platinum that. Um, the
How was
gameplay
it?
for it was good. I gave it like a 7 out of 10. Gameplay was tedious and acted like it didn't want to work properly sometimes, but the story was really good. The characters and voice acting was well done. So overall, it was still a fun experience, even with the tedious gameplay. But yeah. And now I am on to Octopath Traveler 2, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing right now. Um, Loving it. Really, really, really good. OST, really great. Um, Art style. It's a really beautiful game. I'm engrossed with all the characters. I've only met so far two of the characters in the game, and both of their stories so far are very interesting and have me hooked. And like I'm interested to see where it's gonna go and what's gonna happen next. And I feel like I'm gonna be on this game for a while. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's it was definitely
Absolutely.
worth the buy. So I'm really excited about Octopath Traveler 2. But yeah, that's what I've been doing so far.
And you really, really loved the sound design.
Oh, this nigga. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, we
That
both did. So it's something to point out because it is incredibly well done. And the sounds among, shine among everything. Like she said, the OST and the sound design overall, meaning just the background noises
Yeah.
and stuff
Like
like that.
the sound of like the wind blowing or you walking or like the waves crashing on the beach or just snow falling, like the crunch of walking as you're walking on the slow. Like they put a lot of effort into sound design,
mm-hmm.
and it really shows off well. Even like when I didn't even have my headphones on, even if like I'm listening off of the uh my sound TV sound system, it sounds like amazing. It's fantastic. Like I could tell they put a lot of love and effort. I didn't play the first one, but listening to a Nate talk about like what the stuff that's improved from the first one, the stuff that they didn't have in the first game that I'm experiencing now that I really like. Sounds like they did, they put a lot of effort into the sequel and in improving it from Octopath One. So yeah, I would recommend anybody who does enjoy turn-based games to try this out.
There's
Cause
even a
yeah,
demo, so you're not missing out
yeah,
on
and yeah,
anything.
there you go. And there's a demo, so you don't have to risk it. A demo gives you a good chunk of time to try out the game as well. I got like 2 chapters done from the demo, so
Once you're done
uh,
with the demo, do you get locked out of it, or can you repeat it with a different character?
I didn't try with a different character, so I don't
Uh-huh.
know. But all the progress you made in the demo transfers over to the game.
Oh, that's
So
fantastic.
yeah, so I got to keep going and doing my character from the demo, so that was great.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
From what
anybody who's got like a PlayStation, try it out.
yeah, from what I understand, you can play for 3 hours and
Yeah,
then basically
3 hours.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. Okay, are you here? No. Okay, so I will go first. So, a bit of change in my life. So normally I used to now have access to new games, but now I don't. So I'm gonna play what I can play. I bought two new games. One, Hogwarts Legacy. I'm loving it, but it's almost like Borderlands don't exist or other looter shooter don't exist. How you gonna create a magic shooter game, a magic looter game, and you gotta give me such pitiful in- inventory space like that's horrendous, like that's bad, like that's bad, and then you can either go sell them or uh, what call it, destroy them. Um, so there is that. Other than that, I bought a Chariot, which is a puzzle game. I think I talked about it last week. And I bought Forspoken. I'm waiting for it to arrive. Hopefully it arrives on Monday. Hopefully, because
So you took that leap,
apparently
huh?
the hmm?
So you took that leap, huh?
Sorry.
So you took that leap, huh? With Forspoken.
Oh, yeah, no. It was day one on my end. I was never once bothered by the Metacritic. I Game in Despair. You have access. You should be able to join. If you can't, just join the normal place, and I will add you in directly. Join general, and I will add
You
you
what?
in. But you should be able to join. Um, with
Oh,
Forspoken, I was always day one. It's just when it came out, I was in Lebanon, and by the time I was ready to play it, I no longer had access to it. So I bought it on my own, and now I need to wait for it to arrive. Mm. But that's about. Okay. Hey, Uncle, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kay, Otter Nation.
Automation.
Um,
Water Nation.
Author donation.
yes, we are the Otter Gamers. Um, I've been playing Hogwarts. I'm still working on that. Um,
Woo. How far are you?
I I'm not too far. Um, I plan on I'm gonna have the night off, so I plan on trying to get close to the end. Um, when I get off work. And then I downloaded the demo for Octopath Traveler 2, so I want to give that a try.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. It'll be like the first um, turn-based game besides Pokemon that I've played
Good,
and tried out.
good.
Just to
That's
see
gonna
how
be
much
interesting.
I like it, and if I really like it, then I'll buy it. And I was
Mm-hmm.
told that progress saves from the demo and goes into the game, so that's really nice.
it is indeed.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Then let's get to the first
Can,
topic. Yeah,
can I ask as one question, Nate?
go ahead.
You played the Octopath one, right?
I did.
And because one of the things that kind of bugged me about it was that not all the character stories were equally interesting, and they sort of basically pretended they didn't exist because they had no influence in each other's stories. Is that the same for two, as far as you can see, or have they improved that?
So no, they don't do that. So that was actually one of the first things I mentioned to Morgan while we were playing our first characters. My character at the end of my arc, the one that I started with, actually
Mhm.
mentioned her character as a friend and someone he needed to go find, which I thought was interesting because they never mentioned that before. Like the characters, like you said, never referenced each other. Like they were together in a party, but everybody's story was individual.
Yeah.
Um, which they still are. You know, they're still on their own journeys. They're still doing their own thing, but um, the interaction between them and their recognition for each other seems to have definitely increased. At least if that segment is any indication. And like I said, that like you said, that surprised me a lot because they didn't do that at all in the first one. So yeah, they've definitely improved that a lot, among tons and tons of other things. But yeah, that was a huge moment when I heard my character reference the scholar that she started as by name, and mention him being like a friend from a long time ago. So yeah, they definitely done that a ton.
All right. Thanks, Nate. That's all I need to hear.
Yep.
Okay.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Then, hey, before we start, let's give a shout out to chat. Stage, how are you, man? Gaming Despair. You already know the room if you wanna join. And none other than Gaming with Persona. What's up, man? How are you? Enjoying your VR? Um, and Nate, you have a new section? Segue you wanna go to? Go ahead.
Yeah. Before we just get into the topics and stuff, I mean, obviously, there's been a ton of games releasing lately. Obviously, with PlayStation VR, there was a flood of even more games. And then some of this stuff sneaks by a lot of people, and I see it frequently on my timeline and whatnot. So I was like, why not just take a moment and just talk about and recognize, the recent game releases, or at least the major ones that have come out, and just kind of the reception that they seem to be receiving in the community. Um, but yeah, like I said, recent game releases consist of obviously Atomic Hearts, Like a Dragon Ishin, Octopath Traveler 2, Company of Heroes 3, and Kirby's Return to Dreamland, and the surprise drop that we was talking about, that came out a little bit ago there was the the remaster for the Metroid game, which a lot of people are really enjoying,
Mm,
um, and stuff like that. So,
you
hmm
you might as well add the VR because VR came out with the games and apparently they're doing well.
well, no. I was just gonna mention VR overall because there's just too many games. There's a ton of games, but obviously a big thing in the community that a ton of people that we personally all know got their VRs and are having a ton of fun with it. Um, I know something like Whip Shooter or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. Um, that everybody just seems to be going crazy with. Looks a lot of fun, and there's like some sword combat games and just some of the other smaller titles that are interesting to kind of see people getting their hands on VR for the first time and really realizing how visceral and how engrossing that experience can be. And then, of course, even more so with the PlayStation VR 2 being a much more high end headset than the original, and just giving people that much more of a better experience. And also, surprisingly, apparently, some people who typically get motion sickness are actually not getting motion sickness, which was part of the
Oh,
reason for the higher refresh rate and all that stuff, to kind of better the experience. Yeah, Chris Toast specifically, I was watching her channel when she went live for a little bit, and she mentioned while her husband was playing that she had just got off of it and she normally gets motion sickness and she didn't. So I thought that was incredibly interesting. Um, but yeah, like I said, just tons and tons of titles from that. Seeing a lot of people also enjoy Horizon Call of the Mountain. A lot of them got their VR with that together. It just there's just a lot that came out this week. Like I said, that a lot of people are enjoying, and just the reception just seems to be good overall. And just honestly, the great thing about it that I can say is that no matter what you like, there seems to be something for everybody to play, and I mean that's what we all want, when it comes to
yeah,
game releases.
it's a fantastic time to be a gamer, right?
Facts.
The number of titles that are releasing for the VR2 are almost it's overwhelming. Like I'm very surprised they've come out with so many titles ready to go for the PSVR2.
Yeah,
They
it's
also
honestly
just
insane.
they just also announced that Resident Evil Remake 4 remake is getting a free VR update. So clearly, PlayStation is going all out with VR.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of that stuff. I mean, No Man's Sky updated recently. They already had VR, but they updated for PSVR 2 and completely redid the VR experience entirely, including a left-handed mode. Like, I mean, this is the effect that I talk about when I say when PlayStation does something, the industry kind of responds, right? Largely because when PlayStation usually does something, they support it really heavily. Um, and I mean, just right off the bat, I can say that someone who has had the previous VR and has the Quest 2 and has experienced some of the other ones on PC, just the support from PlayStation is just massive right now, and it's making a lot of these other third parties want to jump up and do the same. Whether they're retroactively enabling their games for PSVR 2 or whatnot, but the support is huge day one. And the good thing about it is not only is the support huge, is that a lot of the games are actually good. A lot of the experiences are actually really good, like full on, making you want to complete the game, not just an experience for the moment. Um,
Gotcha, gotcha,
Did
gotcha,
you
gotcha.
did you see the
Yeah, go
Reddit
ahead.
post that did you see the Reddit post that K-Med tweeted out about somebody reviewing the PSVR2 who said that they're heavily in VR and they've been on VR since like pretty much day one and with all the different headsets that come out and that they said that it rivals some of the top end VR headsets already out there.
I didn't see it, but honestly, that doesn't surprise me based on the specs and the tech. So, I mean, PlayStation's moving in the right direction and giving people the opportunity to get to experience, something that would otherwise cost them, over $1,000 just for the headset itself. So I think that's saying a lot. But but yeah, that's all. Like I said, I just wanted to point out all the games and stuff that came out. A lot of people just don't know. Stuff just sneaks up on us. I kind of brought this up because we were laughing about it one day when I was talking to Morgan. and she didn't realize that Like a Dragon Ishin was coming. Like all of a sudden, like it was just like she was like, "Oh my god, it comes out in 2 days," And I was like,
Mm.
"Yeah," because there's so many games coming out.
Yeah.
So,
Um.
yep,
Yeah. So it's a good way to segue to our first topic. I didn't put it in the title screen, but
Communication.
PlayStation State of Play. That was something. If you're a fan of what you call it,
That was something.
fighting games, then you got something for that. Taking point, if fighting games people out there, Lily from Street Fighter, she plays very similar to Yumiko from Bloody Roar. Am I wrong on that? The second I saw Lily gameplay, I was like, Yumiko, is that you?
probably some
Besides that,
inspiration.
hmm,
So probably some inspiration. I mean, Bloody Roar is a very
could be,
classic franchise, so
could be. Um, but besides that, look, this is not it. I'm sorry, PlayStation, this is absolutely not it. Where is the big show? Clearly, they're waiting on the whole Activision Blizzard thing, but you're actually alienating your fan base with this one. Um, I'm I'm not a person that cares about what we call it um, fan art or whatsoever. No, I need gameplay. I need trailer. I need gameplay so I see what I'm getting. And yeah, PlayStation are lacking when it comes to stuff like that right now. They have yet to show us what their roadmap is. That's a roadmap that should have been showcased to us last year, not this year.
No, I think they showed it to us when they had that that blog post about 2023. I think that was their
Yeah,
roadmap.
but I'm talking about in what we call it in a video. Okay, fair point. But yeah, Charlotte Persona, I said it. Definitely in a showcase. Yeah, I caught the last few minutes of your show with Barry, and you guys nailed it on the head. This is not it, the showcase. We need an actual showcase. Um, yeah, precisely, Persona, precisely. And it's, it's not only mind-boggling, it's actually irritating now where we are with the whole Activision Blizzard deal. Now it's impacting us, the gamers. Now it's impacting our own information, and I'm not a fan of that. Beforehand, it was just banter if Microsoft gonna acquire them or not. But PlayStation is now holding back just because of the Activision Blizzard deal, and I'm not a fan of it.
well, they're messing up.
But
They're messing up the media cadence. What we're used to getting, the things that we're used to expecting year after year. But given now that we've had, like, was posted the other day, a good year and a half since the last PlayStation major showcase. I don't think they just need to have the show. I think it needs to be reminiscent of the show that both me and Morgan referenced the other day on Twitter, where they showed The Last of Us 2. Like, it needs to be a stage presence, the same way that the Game Awards came back in a big way. Um, no more excuse to just do that. Like, that format is fine for state of play, but they need to they need to pull out the stops when it comes to this next showcase. I mean, it needs to be all put out there. Mainly just because it's just been too long. Like, I mean, when PlayStation used to shut it down for damn near 2 hours and just go crazy and bring the devs on and let them talk passionately about what they've been working on and really showing us what a lot of these teams are capable of. I mean, they've acquired um, new studios, and a lot of them are talented and working on things as well. We really just need to see the direction, the roadmap, and get some dates on some of these other games, like Little Devil Inside, and so on and so forth. Like, I mean, it's just that time. So,
mhm.
yeah.
So speaking of Little Devil Inside, let's talk about Volcano High. Volcano High, shall we? Persona,
Shall we not?
Floaty.
you were all about that game. What's your thoughts? Are you getting it or not? Cause I was interested in it, but seeing it that it's a rhythm game, I suck at rhythm games. I I'm gonna get it, but deep low tail, cause it's 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 interesting. The premise is interesting. It's just I'm not a fan of rhythm game, but I am getting it. Nate, are you getting it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like not even on
Morgan,
sale. Like it could be free and I probably still won't even play it.
damn.
I
Morgan.
mean, to be honest, when I first saw it, it didn't pique my interest at all, really.
Mhm.
And I saw it again, and it still did nothing for me. Maybe they'll show something else, and my opinion will change. But for right now, no.
Mhm. Gotcha. We
Which game?
volcano.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye volcano high.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't really interested in it. I mean, the only thing would get me to play it is because it's fucking dinosaurs. But other than that, no. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a typical sort of teenage angst kind of visual novel slash rhythm
Mhm.
game. Yeah. Mm.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, I'm with Weave on that. It's teenage drama. I've been out of high school for so many years. I really don't want to go back like that. Um,
Understandable.
It's not.
even if I can
You
go
would.
back
It's
as a
called
dinosaur,
Goodbye
I
Volcano
still
High. It
I'm
looks
still good
like
on all
some
that
teenage drama
drama,
shit, but it also happens to be a
visual
rhythm
novel
game.
stuff. So no, I'm not gonna. I'm nope, I'm not interested in that at all. But I can tell you how to get it for free. So what you
Oh, I
do
know,
is you
but I
wait for
don't
it to
think
drop in
you have to
store,
see it.
then you
I'll
grab a
show it to you.
copy, and then you it's not like a Walmart or
No,
something like that where they
it's a
sell
PlayStation
electronics
game.
and clothes. So then you take the game to the clothes
It's an
section, you pick
indie.
some clothes up, and then you
There
put
I'll
it
you
show
in
it to
those
you.
go.
clothes, and then you go to the dressing room and you take the out of
Wow.
the case, and then you put it in your pocket. Get some cargo pants, and then you just walk
Hater.
out.
This
Oh
channel is
man.
broken down now.
Yo, she over here giving advice on how to. Yo, I can't. Oh man. I thought they
Okay.
made you
Gotcha.
when you took it out of Walmart, they made you like pay for it at the counter.
Mm, mm, um. What did
Or
they
put like
show?
a sticker from an apple on the case to scan it.
Yo, chill.
So okay. Moving on. Resident Evil Resident Evil remake. 4. I mean Resident Evil 4 remake. That's looking like crisp. Like it's looking crisp. I
Mm.
can't wait for that remake.
I'll
And
I'll I'll
PlayStation.
watch I'll watch K play it or something. I'm not really attached to that in particular, so I'll probably just watch K play it.
Hmm.
They want
I don't know if the demo is out, but the PlayStation fans were getting a demo out of that,
Yeah, I might try the
and
demo.
I'm super excited. I'm curious what are the changes, especially now that you can actually prevent the one shot kill from the chainsaw. Like that massive. Also
Well,
visually, it's looking great. Like,
we already know one change, right? There's not going to be any ballistics in the game.
mm, and
Uh,
then there is yeah. Go ahead.
you completely sidestepped that joke, but okay.
Yeah, but now you can actually block it. That's different now.
I wasn't
Um,
talking about blocking it, but okay, go ahead.
um, yeah. So you can sidestep it in the original one. Like you can prevent, but most of the time
Oh
they
man,
catch you
oh
off
man.
Oh
guard.
man, oh man.
But taking point. Let's get to the elephant in the room. Suicide Squad. Um, I had no idea this is a continuation of the Alcom franchise. I thought that it's a standalone game, and they got me with that, and they got me with a single player aspect of it, and yeah, gameplay wise, it felt okay. So people saying Crackdown, I never played Crackdown, so I can comment about that.
I mean, you've seen the fucking gameplay of Crackdown 3. That's what reminds you of. Come on.
Okay, okay. It's very airborne, and I like that. That's fresh. That's something new.
There's
Maybe
nothing
Crackdown
new.
did
Is
it.
it?
I
Is
said,
it though?
It looks so generic, dude. Come on.
hmm?
It looks
It's like
so generic.
airborne gameplay. It's not necessarily new, but
A new when it comes to the looter shooter genre, like Borderlands can do that. Even
Alexa, turn
what
on
we call
gaming
it.
room lights.
It reminded me of Fortnite. Come on, man. This is crazy. Like what
yeah,
was
I was like Fortnite does
unique
it a lot.
was the Arkham gameplay, right? It had the unique combat system, stealth gameplay. That combination was unique. That was actually special. But this looks so generic, so boring. I mean, here's the thing. Like, would have given it a chance if I hadn't seen the gameplay, right? I mean, I would have given
Oh
it a
man.
chance because it had a single player story. Kevin Conroy is still doing Batman, and even though they're doing this another version of Evil Justice League, which I don't really get why people are saying it. Oh, this story is going to be amazing. I mean, has been done to death, but the gameplay. I mean, and I don't really have a feeling that the different characters like are really unique because they feel like they're played exactly the same way, which maybe is by design because you don't want to change the gameplay or get screwed over because you chose the wrong character or whatever. I don't know, but have you seen what they've um, posted afterwards? Like screenshots showing the gear, like the ridiculous modifiers and the weapons that get give you like +2% in I don't know bullshit economics, whatever. I mean, everything about this is just raising red flags. So yeah, I mean, it has a miracle has to take place for me to play this game because it feels like it is just a dumpster fire waiting to happen.
Mm,
Yeah, I will say like when I was watching it, I was like as like watching the shooting, like I was hoping for like more impactful shooting. Like I don't know what it was, but like the shooting just sounded off. Like it was just like real soft. Like they were shooting like
mm.
paint guns or something. I don't know. It just sounded like pellets. Like it wasn't really impactful at all.
The,
And go ahead. What were you saying,
go
Omar?
ahead. No, go ahead. Continue.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it didn't really
It didn't
impress me.
gel with
I
you.
I was kind of hoping they would show something different. They keep showing like the same. It seems like they keep showing the same thing over and over, just like
The
extended
same
versions of
area.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they keep showing extended versions of the same thing, and I'm just like,
Yeah, but this was just,
why?
an actual full introduction of what it is, how the gameplay is.
I mean, the only part that I enjoyed that gameplay was the part where Wonder Woman came out and
Yeah,
hit him with the lasso of truth and was asking, how do I stop this? And he was like, the only way you can stop it, Diana, is you got to kill us all. And I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
okay, that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
But
yeah. That's it. You.
like they got real for a second. I was like, oh okay, that was good. But like
Uh-huh.
other than that, the gameplay was just like, you know,
Yeah, and,
So
and and it's not gonna happen. They're not
shout
gonna
out
kill.
to them actually making a Greek looking Diana, and not just like a generic
Yeah.
white woman looking ass Diana.
Yep.
Agreed.
maybe he believes it because the last of truth is always tell the truth. You're supposed to
Yeah,
tell the truth.
your truth
Yeah.
basically.
So what's his name? Brainiac could have told them
Right.
the only way out of it is by to
That's true.
die, but in fact there is another way out. But it was
That
a
is
good
true.
cliffhanger to stop at.
Yeah.
Look, I agree
So
with. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say my impressions real quick. So my impressions, like everybody else was saying, the gameplay looked like okay, like it just it's not doesn't look like it's really doing anything new or different. Looks pretty generic, but I mean that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I mean you really don't know until you get in there and you know if you have fun or not. But I mean, just looking at it, it does look pretty generic. Uh, the only thing that actually really interested me was the story. Um,
Yeah,
and then other than that, what really impressed me was when one of the devs was talking. His name was Albert something. His head was ginormous. Like he looked like fucking Megamind, but with
Chill.
like natural skin
who?
color.
One of the
Was it
devs that were talking.
was it Modok?
It was like Albert something
he,
or
yo, he did. Oh my gosh. I'm trying so hard to not
I
comment
was
on
like,
that.
It's
holy
Huge.
shit, that is a huge fucking head. And he's bald, so it makes it worse.
so what you guys. So here's the thing. It
Almost
feels
Melissa.
it feels for me this could have easily been a single player game.
I mean, yeah, it could have. Rocksteady could have kept the same pattern that they've been doing, which was a fantastic one, but I don't know, I guess, I don't know if it was the higher ups or the devs themselves
They
to
needed the
move
money,
on to
and
something
Yeah,
else.
I also don't like how you have to play it online, even when you're single
Oh,
yeah,
player.
yeah, always
Like
yeah.
online.
as a truck driver, I play offline. So even if I
Mm.
was super interested in, I would be pretty pissed. I mean, I would have to turn on my hotspot, but I would rather use that for uploading game clips and other things from
Yeah.
my PlayStation.
Gotcha. Yeah. I agree. Look, at the end of the day, I think we said it best. Um, character plays way too similar. Like, I had to think about it for a second. Like, Captain Boomerang is the only one that stands out right now because now he has an actual boomerang and making use of it. But every single other character is like, how are you gonna make them unique if all they do have a gun and they're shooting with the gun? Like,
Yeah.
mm,
As
mm,
the developers were just describing the differences between the different characters, like Harley and Captain Boomerang and stuff, and I was like, I mean, you're describing what you say, like, oh, she's acrobatic, he, melee,
Yeah, they were overly focused
Deadshot,
on the movement system.
yeah, Deadshot is, sniper or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool that you're describing their differences, but when you show the gameplay, it doesn't look that different.
It doesn't.
It's like, oh yeah, he's more acrobatic, he's more, brute force. This one's more gunplay, and I'm like, but they're kind
mhm.
of all doing the same thing though. So
Okay,
yeah,
so it's a wait and see. Uh, this game gonna either thrive or die by its content, and they did promise a new character, new game, a new mechanic, not new mechanic, but just new areas and stuff like that, a new story content.
Also, can I just address the other
Go
elephant in the
ahead.
room that they tie this explicitly to the Arkham verse? Like they could have just not done that because
yeah,
there's no reason to do that. But I have a few notes on that. One is the problem I have is that Arkham Knight, whatever problems it had a sort of perfect ending in the way that Batman faked his own death. Sorry if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't played it. It's
hmm
Yeah.
a million years old, so spoilers, right? But And then, of course, he didn't die, but he sort of reinvented Batman in a way, and now he's just Batman again. So,
Hmm.
like 5 years later, like it doesn't make any sense. So they're really just disregarding the ending of Arkham Knight.
We might
Also,
get a story behind it. We will see.
no, we're not. I'm pretty sure them tying into the Arkhamverse is like an afterthought. Like you said, like yeah, we're gonna do it because people will then
Yeah,
want to see it
exactly.
as a
Mm.
continuation, even though it was never planned to be.
Right.
Um, I
They want
also
to garner
think
Mm.
that
them Arkham Knight fans. That's what that is.
I also think that shot. What I think they made him black in this one, right? Because
Yeah,
or
because he wasn't. I don't think he was in
no,
Arkham, was he?
no. And there's another thing. King Shark actually is dead in the Arkhamverse because there's the movie tie-in, anime movie Escape from Arkham,
Hmm.
and he died in that one. So they're really disregarding that as well. So it makes no
Really?
fucking
Yeah.
sense that this takes place in
So,
the Arkhamverse.
No,
so
they're
you
they're
might as
taking they're taking
well.
notes from Marvel. Okay, this is the alternate universe. All right, this is the multiverse. This is where Shark didn't
Mm,
die.
Probably.
no, they didn't say that, but it's interesting. Stardust. But I agree with you. We this the whole connection to Arkham Knight, Arkham uh, franchise is gonna be taken with the grain of with the kilo of salt.
I mean,
Take them.
they got one major problem on their hands, is that this is a co-op game, so this entirely depends on the people I tend to play co-op with. So that if between Morgan, Kay, and Fox, none of them want to play this game, then I'm damn sure not playing it. So they better fix that shit.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna play it, but I need people to play it with. I can play it on my own.
Hence what I just
Um,
said.
Well, you
yeah,
can. It's single player.
I can, but I know from experience with Borderlands, it's way more fun to play with people. Look, so taking point, PlayStation Phase 2, I saw it on Twitter, and take, take it with a kilo of salt, it's just information. They have Spider-Man 2, they have Horizon Call of the Mountain, they have Stellar Blade, they have Last of Us Faction, Rise of the Ronin, Death Stranding 2, Wolverine, Twisted Metal, Horizon Online, and Helldivers 2. Is that enough?
Final
Uh,
Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Part 2.
Oh, yeah. But I think they're focusing on strictly third party. Because everything we just named is third party,
I mean,
including
Rise of the
Stellar Blade.
Wait,
I
I
mean,
thought Rise of the Ronin was not first party.
It's not third party, but it's PlayStation owned. So there's that.
but you said
Mm,
Stella. You said Stella though, did you?
Stellar Blade is also owned by Play. I think PlayStation owns the IP. Because they are the one publishing it.
yeah, I know they're publishing that or whatever. I know that one's closer to first than anything, but or second party. But I don't know about that whole Rise of the Ronin thing because that was that whole thing with them having the PlayStation Studios logo on it the other week, and then they people were like corrected. So I'm just not sure about that one. I mean, I know it's coming to
Okay.
PlayStation. I just don't. Yeah, not
Okay,
first.
I got you. Okay, we can take it out, but just as what you call it, as
Yeah,
a
you mean
list.
a
Is
list
that
of
enough?
what we know. To me, I mean, for the year, probably. I mean, they can get away with that because, I mean, that's not accounting for all the other things third parties going to release.
No,
Um,
that's not this year. That's for
mm,
this is for a few years down the road.
well, Rise of the Ronin isn't this year, but
And Wolverine is next
no.
year or the year after minimum. And Death
Could
Stranding, we have no idea when that's coming.
could they get away with it? Yeah,
Particularly,
but mm, go ahead, Morgan.
we
As
need
far
more.
as I
We
don't.
need
I
more.
mean, I don't think that it's in PlayStation's plans for that to be all for the next 2 years. I think that's what people think, but I don't know why they think that. That doesn't sound accurate to me. I
It's
mean, they
never
have
been
other studios that
PlayStation.
are that
Yeah.
are. Yeah, I don't know why people think that's gonna be it because that doesn't even sound
Yeah,
like something PlayStation would do.
We need Sucker Punch. We need Ben Studio. We need
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sucker Punch and Bend are like they're at least the announcements for their games should be like
and
within the next
we
year. So I don't
yeah. We
yeah.
also need Blue Point. They also doing something.
I think
Yeah.
Housemark is working too.
And what's the name? Sorry, what did you say, Kay?
Housemark.
Yeah, I was literally about to name drop them because they've been silent.
Yeah, I think how it's they're definitely working on something. I think they'll be
Yeah.
one of the later ones to show, but I think yeah, I think they're definitely working on something.
So we PlayStation Studios, they are busy, busy. And then there's the new Malaysian studio. They're cooking something up.
I
You can't
mean,
forget
yeah,
Haven Studios game,
Haven
yep.
whatever they're making.
Studios also. Five Sprite is also working. Like
Yeah.
a lot of
So there's a lot of studios working. So
I'm actually
working in the
extremely
background.
interested in what Haven is doing because their premise for how they were built is a studio that is going to thrive off of basically creating a game in a cloud space. So basically, getting rid of the limitations from like COVID when they struggled with creating a game where everybody was at home. Basically, creating a game in a space where they can all collaborate, the way almost like in a way as if they were all in the office. So I'm curious how that kind of endeavor is coming along with the game that they're working on. So
Yeah,
I'd really
so
like to see that process.
yeah, so shout out to Persona. He said the partnership with Deviation Studio, Firework, and so on. Yeah, so clearly PlayStation have shit ton of information stuff working on. But when we get out of it, hey, we will see. Oh yeah, Lost Solo Side, yo. The Shino Hero project, they're also coming with more stuff. Yeah, PlayStation clearly is not slowing down anytime soon.
Well, that's what I said.
mhm.
Our discussion about this is we want to see what's coming, not that we're
Yeah,
concerned that nothing is coming. We know
yeah,
that's not the case, but that's why I think some people are confused. Why a lot of PlayStation fans are really vocal right now. It's like we're not used to being in the dark for so long. Like that's
hmm
just
Mhm.
not the cadence that they have. But we know they're coming. I mean, we're getting release after release after release still. Like we're not starving here. We're just it's about that time and they're messing up the cadence, right? You know.
hmm
So it's like if Christmas comes every year and you win a year and Christmas never came, that would be really weird. Like Christmas doesn't not come. Like whether you celebrate it or not, Christmas came. You see what I'm saying?
hmm
Like so that's kind of what it is. It's like Christmas never came. The showcase never came. So yeah, that's why I said they definitely need to make sure they got their ear to the ground, and I mean they need to set it off like PlayStation is known to when they finally do step on that stage. Uh, it should remind us nothing of a state of play. Like I said, I really hope they step it up and go big again.
yeah. So here, yeah, dude, I didn't want to start this, but there we go.
I see Jemiah and Despair is here.
Oh, hey, I didn't hear anything. So, Despair, how are you, man? What's your thoughts?
I'm just chilling right now. I'm just listening.
So, you are a big fashion. You're dying to play fashion too, eh?
Factions too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've been playing that game for a while. I've been playing for like 9 years, so I'm kind of like a veteran when it comes to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Um, and do you think PlayStation is doing the right move by being silent, or they should showcase stuff?
I, honestly, I don't really care to be honest with you because I feel like they usually are silent and they just come out of nowhere. They just kind of bust out like some kind of blockbuster news, just randomly, right? I think. I mean, dude, I got so much to play. I don't even fucking care what's coming out next, bro. Because like my backlog is just getting huger. You know what I mean? I still haven't got a chance to play the Callisto Protocol. I haven't a chance to, play. I finish Horizon Forbidden West or God of War or Dead Space or anything else. Forspoken, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot right now. So I'm kind of happy in some sense that that state of play didn't show anything new coming out. I'll be honest with you.
Mm, gotcha,
Maybe
gotcha,
you should
gotcha.
get off of Apex and you'll finish more games.
Well, maybe you
Oh,
should get on Apex. I
damn.
should play with me. Damn it.
Shot fired. Shot fired. Jemaya, what's up,
No,
man?
no,
Yeah,
hey,
go
but
ahead.
with you, Karaba, I'll be honest with you, Karaba. Like, I've been thinking about actually retiring like off of fucking Apex to be honest with you and get back with the other games because man, I'm enjoying Dead Space, man, dude. I love the fucking jump scares they give your ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking loving that shit.
So then you're super excited about Resident Evil 4 Remake?
To be honest with you, I'm not really that excited for it. Um, are you talking about the VR one or the whole
No,
remake
no,
thing?
no, no.
Talking about
Just the
4
concept
remake.
as remake by itself, but you can include VR. Sure, no problem.
You know what? I heard that the VR version is actually scarier. So, once I actually get my VR, I might check it out. But as far as like the regular console version, I don't think I'm that excited to be honest with you.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
the VR version is way more scarier. Like I honestly probably won't. I've tried it on the original PSVR, and it was scary enough with 3D audio that I was afraid I would punch the TV at some point. So I was just like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Okay, okay.
No,
Anything you
Silent
wanna
Hill
add?
guy.
Anything you wanna
Okay.
add? Despair?
No, all good.
Nope.
I'm sorry, what was that? What was that?
I said anything else you wanna add?
I'll be honest with you. Like for right now, I'm pretty content like what I have. So like, there's nothing else that I really need at the moment. To be honest with you,
Okay,
I guess
gotcha.
the only thing I'm looking forward to is probably Spider-Man 2. That's it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Um, Jeremiah, what's up, man? What's your thoughts?
Oh, which reminds me. I gotta ask you guys a quick question because I'm thinking about getting a Octopath Traveler 2, but it like the first one is not coming to the PS1, right?
Yeah, so far no, and the good thing is by itself it's a standalone game. Also, you played what you call it? What's that game? That that split character game from that Microsoft had that didn't do well, and then it came to PlayStation. The horror game. I forgot what it's called. You played it and you enjoyed it.
Which
Medium?
one? What is it about?
The
You mean the
the
one
one
where
where
the
you
Medium?
world is split? Yeah, the medium. Yeah, like Morgan
yeah,
said, the
thank
medium.
you,
Oh,
thank
I
you, thank you.
actually I actually didn't play that on PlayStation. I was actually playing that on PC.
Yeah, you played it. That's what I'm talking about. You played it on PC, so you have access to Octopath Traveler One. You can buy it on PC. That's what I'm
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
explain
yeah.
to you.
No, yeah, definitely. No, I get what you're saying. It's just that me sometimes like I kind of want to get a platinum on something, but
Yeah,
it's kind of a shame that it doesn't come to PS1.
yeah,
Maybe in the future it will come out.
At least for now, it hasn't come.
Exactly,
yeah.
But it
exactly,
will be
exactly.
leaving Game Pass in about 6 days, so we'll see how that goes.
We will see how that
But what
goes.
was your question though about it?
Yeah, no, Jemaya, what's your thoughts on how
Oh, hold on,
PlayStation has been?
because
Oh
we
yeah,
stopped before we went to Jemiah, so might as well answer the question. What was your question, Despair?
Oh no, no, no. What I was asking is if the first one was coming in, like sometimes like when you pre-order a game, it'll come
Oh,
like with the
okay,
bonus content. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just say you pre-order something, it'll come out with the first game.
okay. I thought you were
That's
asking
what I was
something
wondering.
in relation to one. I got you. I just wanted to make
No, no,
sure
no, but
we had it
definitely.
clear.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I definitely want to check out two though, man. My brother has told me great things about that game, and I definitely want to check it out.
It's amazing. So I feel you.
Hmm.
But yeah, my bad,
mm,
Jemiah. Go ahead. Go ahead and go for it, bro.
It's all good. It's all good. As far as not having a showcase or a showcase coming up, that's what we're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, the showcase, and then how? What was your thoughts on the state of play?
I didn't watch the state of play. I just watched the highlights of it.
There you go.
But
Lucky
Good
you.
job.
Lucky you.
yeah, I don't think the state of play should be watched like E3s or anything. But as far as Sony having a showcase, I think they need a showcase just to quiet their fans down. Me personally, I don't care like the Spirit said. There's a bunch of games out I haven't even played yet. So I don't know why people are so eager to know what's coming out in 2025 when we have games coming out now. You know, like I never really got that. But as far as the showcase goes, I think Sony should have one just so the fanboys can quiet down. We can see what's coming out. I guess in 10 years. I don't really see the point of having a showcase to see games coming out in 2026. You know what I mean?
Interesting. So you're not a fan of roadmap.
No, because every time you show something like 3 years ahead, 2 years ahead, it gets delayed. Everything gets delayed nowadays. So it's like, oh,
Mm,
2024, you gotta play with Ring. Then you like get to 2024, it's delayed to 2025. You know what I mean? So it's like nothing's written in stone. And when you have these showcases, people have expectations for something
mm.
crazy, and it
So
never really
you,
lives up to that 2016 E3 that everybody keeps talking about.
mm
You're
so
not
you would
wrong.
rather. Oh, go ahead, Morgan.
Oh no, that was all I was gonna say. I was just commenting.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
I
no, I
get
was just
what
saying he's not
Jeremiah
wrong.
is.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I
Okay.
get what Jeremiah is saying. Because like they showed Pragmata, and we haven't really seen anything from it since, and
Dude,
that's been a while.
Pragmata.
Hmm.
To be
And
fair,
then
that's
Little
Capcom's
Devil,
fault though.
then Little Devil Inside, we've seen it
Don't get me
twice,
started on the
maybe,
game. Listen,
Yeah.
we don't
and
talk about
we
Little
haven't
Devil
heard
Inside
from
no
it
more.
since.
Is I refuse to believe is a real game right now. Like, nah, that that that's a tech demo or something. Like, where is this game, dude?
Yeah.
See, that's what you
Or what
get with
about?
Game Informal.
Well, no, but
And then we sent.
I agree though. Like what you guys are talking about. I just don't think PlayStation like Spider Man is the rest of PlayStation for the year. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they need to include that. Like PlayStation is a combination of the things like yeah, like I don't like you said like 2025 and stuff like yeah, that's crazy. But like they definitely you know what I'm saying need to basically build the excitement for
Mm,
some of the new projects that they're working on that are like in a showable state. Like a lot of them are showable pretty early on, but like also like not super far. Like I mean, I there's no way I think PlayStation first party studio is only going to release Spider-Man this fall. Like no
Mm.
fucking way.
Well,
You
no,
think that? You about to be hella
no,
disappointed, sir.
I still want there to be showcases because like I feel like they're just this really special event that gets me hyped, right? So
Yeah.
I still want a showcase. I'm just saying I can see what Jeremiah is talking about that particular point.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
oh,
I think you should be careful about how far you're showing stuff in advance for sure. Like you don't want to show something that's just like years and years and years to the point. Like I mean, there's games that I could show y'all that I know you guys would remember, and we saw them shits like 4 years ago, and
mm,
them shits like basically are vaporware at this point. So yeah, like you definitely don't want that. I'm just saying, I think there's a lot more that PlayStation has coming before the end of the year on
mm,
top of early next year that they could definitely show because you got to remember that the showcase isn't happening tomorrow. Like it's gonna be closer to June or right before June when they're anticipating seeing this. So they're gonna line up whatever's coming for the fall, and then you got to start lining up 2024. Like that's where I
so,
think they need to kind of
I
nail it
think
down.
PlayStation first
Renee,
party for 2023 is going to consist of Spider-Man and maybe factions. I think that's
Okay,
how it's
yeah,
hitting this
mm,
year.
that's fair. I can see that. But I mean, factions
um,
I think is going to be huge. So I mean that, but I still
Yeah.
don't think the only reason I think they're going to bring something else, and it may not be their first party. It may be the China Hero Project finally delivering something else, because that's kind of
Lost
the
aside,
combination of what.
maybe.
Yeah, we might get Lost Soul aside because that's kind of what Fist did, right? Like
Mm,
Fist kind of slid up in there alongside the PlayStation first party, alongside Kana, along like PlayStation is really good at balancing the cadence of their first party releases with their second party partners. So that's what I'm really
mm-hmm,
interested in seeing. And that, like, right now we don't know what that is beyond, Final Fantasy and Spider Man. But that's what I'm saying. I think once they give us that clear picture, like, I think it's just gonna boost the excitement that much more. I think all of
mm,
us that have a PlayStation, like you said, we all have the same problem right now. we got so many games to play that we can't finish them. Like, so
Yeah,
it's not about releasing something tomorrow. It's like, but damn, like some of these people, like Ben Studio is like foaming at the mouth to tell us what they're
yeah,
working on. Like, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited. Like,
mm,
and that's what I'm interested in. So I don't know. We'll
yeah.
see.
I have a question. I actually going to go to the PlayStation court right now. We have a guilty by the name of Priscilla for actually saying I've yet to play any Spider-Man game on PlayStation. Yawn.
Girl
What's
hasn't played a
up
lot of
with
games. She
that?
hadn't she hadn't played Ghost either.
Hey, by the way,
Sorry.
I hear you guys like mentioning factions and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know how Factions 2 is going to play out, right? Because in Factions 1, like I told you guys, I've been playing for like 9 years. The only thing that concerns me is the tall grass and if there's going to be actual campers, because you can't camp in the first one.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
they're
putting
definitely gonna make something for campers. I already know because unfortunately that's just where we are when it comes to these games now.
hmm but no,
Enabling campers.
putting everything aside, like Priscilla, what's up with you? I get
Like
on it.
she
You're
she's not
not
gonna
missing.
play it,
You're
bro. Just let it
absolutely
go.
missing out.
I mean,
She's not gonna play it.
I don't,
Caraba,
I don't
sometimes you
know.
need to
She
stop
hasn't
simping,
played
brother.
Ghost either. Like she's just not gonna play it.
Yeah. Well,
You know what,
she's.
Caraba,
Omar, you
you know
have
what
no
Caraba's
right
doing
to
right now?
speak to that.
Caraba's fucking simping right now and shit, man. You gotta stop doing that shit, bro. Nah, just fucking with you.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah.
this man has never played Metal Gear, Omar. You don't have any
Hey,
right.
that's a different thing, though.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
it's a,
no, no.
oh, okay.
And
Wait
the
a
only
minute.
reason I
You never
didn't
played Metal
play it,
Gear?
Yeah,
the
he never played it.
the only reason I haven't is because I never had access to it. Simple.
Mm, mm, mm. Too many excuses, but all
Not
right.
I'll
because
be
I don't want to. You're different, so I have no interest in the same old story of Spider-Man being done so many times. Nah,
I'll be honest with you,
wait.
Omar. I'll be honest with you, like brother, I haven't even fucking played Metal Gear, but I do have the collection for the PS3, and I do have my PS3, but I haven't got a chance to get around
Mm-mm.
it. But all my friends tell me, like, dude, you gotta fucking rock that shit. So I gotta check it
Mm,
out.
yeah, by the way, Priscilla, the
Yeah.
reason why you should play this Spider-Man because it's a new story. It's a fresh story. It's not the usually story. Unless you watch an 8 player, I would recommend you to absolutely play it because it's different. Um, uh, skipping gears, unless have anyone have anything else to say about this topic, what we talk about?
You were talking about the state of play, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I already said it, but I gave it a 6.5. Honestly, I gave it a 7 at first, but I'm like, nah, it's more like a 6.5. But like I told everybody before, I felt like I'm glad they didn't show anything mind blowing because then obviously it hurts your fucking wallet and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but so far it's been okay. The show's been okay for me.
Mm,
There's nothing that catches me. In that sense. But for right now, at least it lets me catch back up to my backlog. Which reminds me too, man. I'm thinking about firing up my PS3 because I got a whole bunch of games and shit that I haven't fucking finished. But yeah,
yeah.
man.
Okay, gotcha. Going once, going
I
twice,
get I
going.
give the
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
give the hey I give the showcase a 5, and I'm glad that I didn't watch it
What's what now?
live because I was doing something way more
Tears
exciting
of
with
the Kingdom?
Priscilla.
Mm, it was entertaining watching it with the crew
You mean the
live,
one that's coming? Tears of the Kingdom.
but I agree with you. Okay, gotcha. Skipping gears. We started this week with the announcement that Shinji Mikami is leaving Tango Studio. Before I continue, substantive. Um, this move, I know control gonna control about it, but it absolutely is a big loss to Xbox, like Microsoft, like Bethesda, losing the fourth father of Resident Evil, like that big,
And
that
Evil
big.
Within, Evil Within too.
Yeah, also, but also Resident Evil.
Yep.
So it makes you question: can Tango survive without? No, not only that. Look what look what not Tango, Bethesda in general lost
What?
before even the release of Tokyo,
Tears of the Kingdom?
um, Ghostwire
Uh,
Tokyo.
they're
The lady behind it, what's her name? Iki Nakamura. She left. That was abrupt, especially after her being the one to debut Ghostwire Tokyo. And she is
Dude,
from
you
the
don't
game
have
that
to
I
play it. They're
love
just
so much,
it's
which
just a
is
big
Okami.
game.
I need another Okami. Besides that, and now we have Shinji Mikami leaving.
PlayStation sold almost 30
So
million copies.
is
Huh? No, it's not.
Is Tenbo Studio gonna be on the chopping block?
Well,
I'm
I
I
gonna
mean,
start
mean,
like
with
when you,
Xbox, Phil Spencer, and Bethesda all came out and said Tango was going to be fine and they were going to continue making games. So I don't think there's really any reason to think that it's going to be closing.
I.
It is, it hurts. I'm sure it's a loss, but I'm sure they had a contingency plan in place since this was something he talked about doing even before the acquisition. Microsoft acquired Bethesda. He was talking about how he was going to retire. So I'm sure once the acquisition happened, Xbox and Phil and everybody talked, and they had a plan, and they're gonna go through with it, and everything's good. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be the end of Tango.
I have
well,
the
out of
No,
feeling at
curiosity,
it's
were
this
they
gonna.
both
time.
creative directors or what?
Sorry, repeat that.
Because okay, so when I talked to Jeff Ross, right, like there's a difference between a creative director and like like the studio director. Were they both creative directors of say so studios or what? Like Tango, for instance.
Hmm. He was he was the creator of two games, Resident Evil and Evil Within. So he's big.
Hold on, I hear
Yeah, he was
somebody
in
talking
charge
in
of
the
the studio
background.
basically.
Wait, there are audio in the background. Who is doing that?
I have no idea.
Yeah. But
No,
uh,
Tango's gonna crash and burn, and they're gonna take everyone from the studio and put them on Minecraft to work on Minecraft.
lady,
Oh my god.
please listen.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, but I wouldn't be surprised if that dude that was leaving Tango Games like actually goes into what's it called, a PlayStation
So
Studio and actually makes a game.
so so what is his job? Shinji Mikami.
He's the head of
I'm
the
sure he
studio.
was. Yeah, he
Oh,
was the head of
head.
the
Okay,
studio.
yeah.
Yes.
Also,
Basically,
he is the
basically the
founder,
director.
even,
Yeah,
and
he's
the
the
head of
founder.
the
Yeah.
studio. He's leaving.
Yeah. When
Okay.
he left Capcom or whatever.
Yeah. So that's big blow. That's a big blow. And um, now they no longer have a Japanese studio.
They,
They have, but without him, it's almost like feel like um a shell out of form itself.
I
Can they
think you need
recover
to
from
I think
that?
you probably need to wait until after whatever their next game is, because I'm pretty sure they're already on the path to whatever they're like
Hmm.
mapped out to whatever their next game is. That's just the way these studios work. So I think the key is, can they survive beyond their next game is the real
Yeah.
question. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I mean, yeah, like they're gonna have the blueprint for whatever's next. It's what's after that. Probably early next gen with Microsoft. What are they going to produce then? Because I know
Hmm.
people right now, people are jumping out the gym on Hi-Fi Rush, um, but you know, and probably an Evil Within is probably whatever their next game is. He probably just mapped that out for them,
Yeah.
and then but what's next, beyond that. And
Uh-huh.
I think that's where you'll see whether or not they can survive. I think that's when we'll ask that question, kind of like a lot of people asked with Rare. After Rare had been with Xbox for a long time, then you kind of got to see like what kind of company are they going to be with them. um,
Hmm.
Hmm.
so yeah, we'll see where they go. I don't think it's detrimental for them yet, because it's just too soon. Now later on, if whatever's next beyond that, they start to seem like they're struggling, then we'll see. But I don't know. Maybe Microsoft will get their shit together and actually learn how to you know, house some of these development studios for once in their life and actually, manage to do something rather than cry in court about how they should be able to spend money.
Gotcha,
Maybe
gotcha, gotcha.
Tango can help Rare with Everwild.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
since they don't know what it is. You're right.
They
Yeah.
don't know what it
Oh
is. They
man,
don't know what type of gameplay that it is. So yeah, that's rough. Um, Jemaya, what's your thoughts?
I never really get caught up in these studio developers. You know what I mean? Because like it takes more than one person to make a game, and I don't get caught up in like, oh, this one guy's leaving, so the game's gonna be trash or that. Because look at like God of War Ragnarok. Core didn't work on it, and the game was still good. You know.
Hmm.
So
That's
it
very
Mm,
true.
takes it's more than just one person or a lead developer that's gonna really make the game good or bad. So I'm not really concerned about it.
That's a good point.
And also, like, you gotta think these guys been working with these studios for 10, 15 years. That's a long time to be at one job. So sometimes they just want to move on. It's not that serious to me, in all cases, some cases.
mm, okay, gotcha.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I think he's just a lot like part of what you said was something I said when I was talking to Morgan earlier. I was like, a lot of people kind of hone in on these leads of the studios as if everybody is Hideo Kojima.
Hmm.
He very much is in massive control over a lot of the direction of his franchise and rights, and does a lot. He does like 10 times more than a lot of other people do in the creation of these universes. So yeah, he's extraordinarily key uh, in a lot of the ways that these worlds develop and kind of come along, but that's not necessarily the case for a lot of these other people. Like you said, that the studio is going to still be the studio. Um, but that's why I said, like, my focus for them is more so what kind of studio are they going to become underneath Microsoft as they move forward. But that goes for anybody, though. Like I said, that goes for anybody underneath them now. It's a
Mm,
very different thing. I mean, look, for instance, I mean, we were talking about how the money's going to save everyone, from Microsoft, and yet we just finished having a discussion about how they laid off 10,000 plus people, including some
yeah.
people at Bethesda. Like, and the whole point of them being acquired was so that they have the money to do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's why I said, like, it's more so for me a combination of what they'll become under Microsoft's regime. Um, because largely because I mean, at least personally working in IT and stuff, I don't. Microsoft does not have the greatest track record with purchasing things and then taking care of it. Skype being the perfect example of that train wreck. Um, but we'll see, man. They're talking a lot of shit right now, so we'll see. We won't really know till we cross that bridge. So I think that's where we're at right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. Shout out to Persona. He said Corey wasn't the creative director, but he still uh, oversaw the entire process. There's a difference. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Um,
he was still present. He just didn't.
yeah,
He just gave the main overall role to the other guy. But yeah, but
gotcha.
that's the good thing about being in house with PlayStation though. Like their teams can work so closely together and benefit from one another, and that's kind of what we talk about that Xbox kind of needs. Like they keep bringing all these people in, but it's like, are you guys gelling together? And this is why I said this is why I told you at one point that analogy that I used. When I said, just because you bring in all the MVPs, doesn't mean they're going to turn into a really great development team, right? Like everybody's not going to be a good team just because everybody, you brought in sports analogies and stuff, the point guard and the center and all these people, everybody's not going to be the 96 Bulls and just turn into this
Gotcha, gotcha.
really well gelled team. And I think that's really the key to see if they can manage to become that over
Mm-hmm.
time. Because the money can purchase you the people, and get them in the door, but it can't make your teams work together and put out, a fruitful project. And I think that's what
Hmm.
we're kind of waiting to see here now, which is funny because on screen right now, if you guys are looking at it, is Redfall, which is that's their upcoming
Does that
thing.
game exist? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
where were you talking about Corey's role in Ragnarok? Because I think he was a producer in that, and so
Yeah,
that yeah.
Yeah.
For what I understand from Eric, basically was in charge of the because he's the director of the game, so he decided how the game is going to look, but he checked with Corey, Corey gave him guidelines. Okay, yeah, you need to do this, and this, and he checked with him if there was something that he wanted to do that wasn't in the original script, right? So it basically just a game director or creative director isn't charge of the game, but with something like a franchise with God of War and a vision that was created by Corey, yeah, he had to check with him, or rather, he owed it to the franchise to check it with him. So, but in the end, I think there was also the tradition, I think, with God of War that every God of War game had his own director. And still, because it's the same studio and the same people are involved, you get a cohesive, vision and make sure that everything fits together.
Agreed.
yeah, gotcha. Shout out to Gaming Despair. He had to leave, but we're actually getting a replacement with Viper. I'm waiting on him to drop. Um, Going through that. Oh, sorry. Anyone have anything else to say about this topic? Then let's move on to the final topic, which is a big one. Microsoft. In 1 week, Microsoft have had one of its worst week, I would say. First, they exposed themselves for just how irrelevant they are. So, PlayStation to Xbox market performance revealed by Brad Smith from Microsoft Today. Europe, 80-20 in favor of PlayStation. Japan, 96-4 in favor of PlayStation. Global, 70-30 in favor of PlayStation. End of 2022 sales, 90, 69-31 in favor of PlayStation. That's what happened when you say sales don't matter. Yeah? Keep in mind, this isn't specifically about Xbox Series to PlayStation 5 sales. It's comparing the last several generations. The gap in Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 total install base is closer than this currently. Nah. That said, the holiday period of 2022 was a total blown up for PlayStation 5. Current install base, PlayStation 5, 32 million shipped. Xbox Series estimated somewhere in the low 20 million. Gap between the two is somewhere around 10 million, give or take. Um, Microsoft is not in there because this conversation is about PlayStation versus Xbox. Um, Look, they built their entire fan base around sales to matter. When we covered it, how every single game is selling 80 20 or 87 or something like that. And people are like, yeah, that's just UK. It doesn't matter. We care about USA. Um, it it's massive. This is massive. It's every single information coming out. We have this. Okay, so one by one. This N8. What's your thoughts?
I mean, it's not like it's really surprising. I mean, Microsoft has statistically on hand been in a number of less territories in Europe than PlayStation year over year. Uh, UK specifically, and a number of territories in Europe also prefer PlayStation in general, which is going to cause that split to be that way. Um, I mean, it's really not surprising. I mean, it's Microsoft's fault largely, uh, which they're trying to play the victim right now. But
Yeah,
uh,
they are.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's their fault for not supporting those territories and whatnot in those areas. Like, I mean, it's just purely on them. Like, and this purchase, trying to show that 80-20 split, which is not globally for the record, which is you know part of it, which is it's not 80-20 either for the record because I know that the bullshit they tried to pull with the whole high end console market nonsense by creating that stupid ass pie chart when clearly Switch is a massive part of the global market and in EU. So for them to even try to uninclude that like it was irrelevant is hilarious. PlayStation doesn't have 80% of the current generation market. That's ridiculous. Um, and also, of course, discrediting PC, which is largely part of the problem. The other issue to that percentage split, largely being that their games have been day and date on PC for a long time, which is why a ton of people don't feel the need to purchase their console, which that specific number they were showcasing represents hardware sales. So, of course, you're going to have even less hardware sales when all of your games are available day and date on PC, um, where a lot of people are just going to forego an Xbox entirely, like myself, and have a PC or two or three. Um, in which you can play those plus all the other things that you can play. So they're really playing up this whole idea that they're just you know in the worst position ever. But even acquiring Activision or anything of the like isn't going to particularly improve Xbox numbers because ultimately, I mean, they still have to deliver. They have to deliver, and anyone who's already on board is going to basically be on board with them. But for the most part, it's just not going to drastically change for them, largely because PC is just a major factor for so many other reasons, and is largely the reason their actual install base is so small. So yeah,
Gotcha.
so they're cannibalizing
Uh,
themselves, and that's their fault.
Weave, what you thought?
Uh, Xbox sucks. No,
Come
I mean,
on.
yeah, I had to laugh at that Pac-Man chart. Yeah, that they made.
The
I mean,
ridiculousness that they showed up with that
yeah,
professionally.
yeah, yeah, but they didn't do themselves any favors with that because they clearly misunderstood, how the EU and how the UK now works, right? They're not sensitive to grandstanding and this entire media circus effect that's gonna blow up in their face because they don't appreciate that. Um,
So you
so
tell me they're not at with puppies at Clocked is?
the, sorry, can you repeat that?
They
They're
are
what?
not the silly puppies that need help. They're actually capable.
The silly puppies? No, no, they're not buying that bullshit. I mean,
No.
nobody. No, no. Uh, I think they did more harm to their cause than they actually helped themselves with this. Because it's pretty easy to just punch through the bullshit, right? It is bullshit because they know it. Um, and at the end, yeah, the drama will continue for a while. I mean, I guess now they're talking again with Sony, but I mean, in the end, it doesn't really mean anything. It's not doesn't mean that the deal now suddenly will go through. It just means they're at a point where they have to talk. I mean, Sony would be stupid to not talk to them to hear what they have to say. But in the end, if the deal is still, Sony's best outcome will be that the deal is going to fall through, right?
Yeah.
So no matter what conditions they offer them, if the alternative is the deal doesn't go through, that's even better because then the status quo will yeah, will return, and probably Bobby and whatever that PR manager's name is, they probably will have to take a hike because they completely screwed up that relationship with Sony. Um, I mean, I have to laugh at that because I think it was her name was Lulu or something. With she was now posting memes about Sony. Like, how much
Hmm.
have you got riding on this? Because I mean, if this fails, do you really think that Sony wants to talk to you? They will probably remember this. Like, yeah, we're renegotiate our deal, but not with you. That's probably what they're gonna do. And Bobby knows that his days are numbered because he wants his deal to go through so he can avoid maybe jail time. I don't know. He has done some shady shit, and he's responsible for allowing all that shit that that they're now being sued over to continue. So he's hoping that this will be swept under the rug when Microsoft takes over and he can get his golden parachute and he doesn't have to worry about anything. And if this isn't going to go through, then he has to, and probably if let's say, because I know that some journalists and some fanboys are saying, oh yeah, no, Sony screwed up the relationship with Activision. And no, some people in Activision might have screwed up their relationship with Sony, but if this deal is not going to go through, guess what the shareholders are going to do? They're going to vote out those people that are are hampering their ability to make profit, because still, Sony's currently is the market leader, and you're not going to screw up, your cash cow, your money maker, right? So in the end,
Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. Will PlayStation will Activision go back to PlayStation after the deal if it
they
doesn't go through?
they have to. They have no other choice because in the end, if the deal is not going to go through, what's going to change? I mean, PlayStation is still they have the largest user base, with PlayStation 4 still, and the PS5 is ahead of the Xbox, so they're poised to win again. So they would be crazy to not do that. They know
Okay,
that. Yeah.
I have a question for you, and this is not my opinion. This is just an opinion I heard from the Vitamin G crew. What if they buy Activision? No. They buy Call of Duty. Let's say the whole deal falls through. Either Microsoft seek a Call of Duty exclusivity deal, or they flat out buy the IP. Can they get
No,
away with that?
no. They're gonna buy the IP without Activision.
Yeah,
Yeah, but not even that. I mean, that's Activision's most profitable IP. Why the hell would they sell it?
Bec- hey, I'm just asking to see what would happen. Would they be allowed? Would
It
they
makes
go
no sense.
be able to go through? Because
The,
I told them,
only reason why Activision would want to sell Call of Duty is if they don't want to be bought by
oh
Microsoft.
yeah. I remember why. Because they're gonna keep. So they buy the IP, but they let Activision keep what you call it, making it. So in that sense,
Yeah, but that still means that con- they are in control, so they could also take it away from Activision, or they reap the bulk of the profit. So it there's nothing to gain there from Activision to do that. So like I said, the only way that Activision would ever consider selling the Call of Duty franchise, well, either they're going bankrupt, but that's not gonna happen. At least they're still the biggest publisher out there, or they don't want to be bought by Microsoft, and that's a strategy that companies use. That's selling off their crown jewels, because then there's no reason to buy the company if you're selling off the IP that they actually want to acquire. Uh, but
hmm
neither of those is currently the case. So no, that's not going to happen.
Gotcha. Um. Okay, what you thought?
So was the original topic was that about the sales numbers for
Yeah,
Xbox?
basically Microsoft install base. Uh, is Microsoft to blame, or are they the poor people, the poor guys?
I mean, if they have poor sales numbers, I mean, it has to be their fault. I mean, they're also marketing Game Pass more than they actually market their own consoles. And when you put a service in front of everything else, like that, like that's their top priority, then everything else is going to suffer. I mean, think about like China, right? So they can just play everything on PC Game Pass. Why buy an Xbox? They already got their PC.
That's what we've been telling them for the longest. So,
But I mean, another thing could be it's just for PR, uh, them not going out and trying to make relationships to bring games to their platform so that it makes the console more enticing to buy. Um, but other than that, I really don't give a shit about Xbox sales.
mm-hmm. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Morgan?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in line with everybody else. I mean, Xbox, they pretty much did this shit to themselves. I mean, if anybody watched the Xbox documentary, I mean, it goes over it in intense detail how Xbox kind of self sabotaged themselves, especially with the Xbox One launch and everything that went on with that.
TV,
It's kind of,
TV, TV?
yeah, it just kind of went downhill from there. I don't, yeah, they're not these poor, sad, underdogs that they like to paint themselves as that need
Really? I
just
thought they are.
everybody's help. And it's, I don't know. It's just, I'm just ready for this fucking like
You're done with it, right? I
acquisition
feel
to
you.
be fucking over. I'm so sick of talking
I
about
know,
it,
I
but
know, I
yeah.
know. But it's a news. It's a big news, so we gotta cover it. Um, Besides that, if that was not enough, stay with me, Marvin, because I'm gonna go to you now. Um, yeah, because you were the last to speak before, and I will speak the first about this topic. Um, they we found out that another game is performing better on PlayStation. What's happening? I thought that
Oh, Atomic Heart.
Microsoft had the best consoles that eat consoles for breakfast. 12, 13 T flop, 12 T flop.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, what I heard from a reliable source, is that the only reason certain games were performing well, um, or better on PlayStation versus Xbox was that because PlayStation had marketing deals with those games. So the reason Hogwarts Legacy was performing better on PlayStation is because the existing marketing rights that they have for Hogwarts. But
Yeah, they paid
Atomic
for the
Heart,
performance.
yeah, they paid for
So,
better performance. But Atomic Heart, that's marketed with Xbox, but for some reason that works better on PlayStation. But if you point that out to them, the reason is, well, it's the tools. They just didn't they just didn't optimize for the power of the Series X. So I just think it's
so
You know
funny.
what?
is it now?
The Xbox is so powerful that it's hard to optimize for it correctly,
Hmm.
Yes.
especially the Series S.
can't stop all that power, huh? Just can't
Can't
contain it.
stop
So,
it. Can't stop it. Won't stop it.
mm-hmm. So is it that PlayStation is bribing developers, or the tool have yet to arrive?
Apparently, Apparently, because that's what I've heard. Like, we're like, there's no factual reason why the PlayStation should be outperforming the Series X. So the
Yeah,
only reason that it could be possibly doing that is they're bribing developers, they're getting them to undercut, they're paying for parity, they're going
you, you know,
behind doors and meetings and all that bullshit.
you know what I heard?
What you hear, Weeb?
Yeah, that Sony paid Microsoft to make the Series S.
Oh,
Yeah, they paid them to self
damn.
sabotage. Like that's how far it goes.
I did see that somewhere.
I like that one. Now I'm gonna use that one. Thank you, Weeb. PlayStation paid Microsoft to create the Series S. Yeah, I love that one.
It's true.
That's the best line out there.
Oh,
Yeah, go
and
ahead, Kay.
don't believe the Baldur Gate devs. PlayStation absolutely paid for them to hold off on the Xbox
Right,
version.
right. Because the
Mm.
immediate reaction for for the Baldur's 3
That's
game
that's
was
that's another
that
topic. That's another topic. We're gonna focus on this one, and that's the final topic we're gonna talk about. So
But
wait
this is
on
the
that
fun stuff.
line. But yeah, no, because that's a topic by itself. Because that to me that showcase something that we're gonna see more of, which I think gonna talk about later. Okay, what's your thought on this whole ordeal?
On the what deal?
Microsoft being outperformed by PlayStation, despite the fact that
Oh
they
no,
have the better hardware.
I, I'm in 100% agreement with Morgan. PlayStation just they just have the money to make
Yeah,
it the better performance. They making those back alley deals. You
hmm
know
that's exactly what they're
where
yeah,
doing.
where they walk up and they give them a handshake, but there's really just like a wad of like $100 bills in their
Mm,
hand.
yeah. Yeah, Sony explanation.
dollar bill. Okay, got. But I thought PlayStation was broke. I'm confused.
All of a sudden
Well,
they
you
got
see,
money to just slide across the table and make all these deals.
But
well, you see,
PlayStation can.
PlayStation is actually genius. They want people to think they're broke, but they're
Yeah,
really not because they have an offshores
Ah,
Hmm
account. They
so
have an
they play
offshores
in the
account to
mind
pull money
game.
from.
Okay,
Not the
gotcha.
offshore account. I'm
They got
dead.
they have a
yeah,
they
They
have
got the
shell
account in
companies.
Cancun and all that shit.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, then I take it from you.
I mean, I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, we know. I mean, from the very beginning, when the architecture was being discussed between the two, um, Mark Cerny, talked about working with developers hand in hand, designing the speed, that the PlayStation 5 SSD would be running at, the way the architecture worked in line with each other, the way it all comes together. Like I said, it's a very different thing. Um, when it comes to designing hardware, and PlayStation seems to have just knocked it out of the park. I mean, it just is what it is. They tried to warn people. Raw power on specs is not. It's not a PC to PC comparison. Which I told people specifically of, as someone who builds PCs, hey, this isn't, hey, my computer has an RTX 3070 and yours has a 3080, and so you're better. No, it's not like that. These are very different closed systems that are designed with completely different setups in mind, despite, x86 architecture. They're going to handle things quite differently, and it's become very evident, as we've gotten to see a bunch of games shine on PlayStation 5, across the board on
So,
various engines. So,
I have a question for you. What do you say to the people that say, "Oh, that's all optimization"?
I mean, it's clear. It's clearly not. I mean, you're because what's happening is they're running into issues where you know both the games look pretty good, and then this one doesn't is missing ray tracing at this part. So it's not just optimization. These games are optimized to the T, And then one is just lacking, the headroom to add that extra feature or the several other features. So no, it's not optimization. I mean, a lot of these devs are clearly good at their job and capable. Optimization can only do so much when there's nothing left. And that's just what it is. And in Microsoft's case, they decided to bet on this weaker ass console, which I
Oh
said
man.
was a mistake from the beginning, coming out with a weaker SKU that basically forces people to work on this device. And it's like the reason, I mean, I could tell you offhand is because, like I said, when Destiny 2 came out and they decided to drop the prior consoles, it was because there was a minimum level experience that they wanted their game to be at, and the older consoles couldn't do it. And when you basically, have something weaker than your real next gen console, like you're already hindering developers and hampering what they're capable of achieving across the board, and basically just forcing them to, put a 2 liter in a 20-ounce bottle. Like that's just what it is. And people go, oh well, no, it's not that big of a deal because the CPU is like this or the GPU is like this, and it's like no, it's clearly incredibly weaker. It is not even the 1440p device that people were promised, where they were like, yeah, all your games are gonna run at 1440p. Yeah, that's all. And it's like, no, we've seen several games run at 720p, or less in some cases. So, especially trying to achieve 120 hertz, it's been embarrassing. So, yeah, no, it's not optimization. It is 100% on the hardware in this case, and it's just going to get worse from here as games require more or, start to keep up with the higher end versions of these consoles or higher end version of their console. PlayStation was smart, coming out with the digital version, but not messing with the hardware so that you can build one SKU for them across the board and really truly optimize for it going forward. So, yeah, is what it is, man.
So what do you say to the people that say that look at games like Plague it did better, it ran better on Xbox. Why?
Mm, yeah, but I mean, like Playstyle is also a specific that's a specific in-house engine for one, right? And Playstyle does one thing specifically. They also couldn't achieve, 60 FPS for what they wanted to achieve on that either. So like it didn't even
Man,
really,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like that's
Super
obviously a
fail.
limitation of the type of engine they used and the way that they allocated resources, right? So, but that game does something specific with the rat system and the way that they spread, try to display all that stuff on screen. And it just so happened that that engine and the way that they designed that game ran that way. Because you could design a completely different game in that engine and it performed completely differently than that or on par. So, and I mean
Mm,
the differences there were not the differences at the level that we see in some of these other games that you're talking about, where PlayStation is, significantly outperforming the competition. It was kind of like, oh, the shadow didn't come in right there or something. Like the game was still basically 100% in parity with the PlayStation 5 version. So it's like even
mm,
that wasn't, even though, oh, when I turn the corner and I open this door, the frames didn't drop as much. Like you're talking about barely instances of not being directly in parity versus getting outperformed the entire game. That's what
Yeah,
PlayStation's doing.
it's this
different.
idea, especially during the beginning of the generation, that a lot of fanboys ran with, that there was going to be this despairing, noticeable difference between games, third party games running on PlayStation 5
Mm-hmm.
versus Xbox Series X and S. And it's just not the case. These consoles are closer than they've honestly ever been, and it's gonna be rare instances when, if any, if there's gonna be like huge noticeable differences between third party games between the two. Like honestly, we wouldn't notice most of these differences if it wasn't for channels like Digital
Digital
Foundry and
Foundry,
things
yeah,
like that. We wouldn't even know. So
yeah.
so yeah, it's I just think it's funny, but you
Mm.
know,
Okay, so shout out to C Fresh. He said it best. Didn't the PS5 version have more that? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Um, so is it then fair to blame Series S, or it's not even Series S conversation anymore?
I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't think so.
as I mean, it's hard for us to say because we're not developers and we're not making the games for these consoles. But I mean, as far as that one particular game, um, you know, that they showed a state of play that everybody was crying about that wasn't supposedly wasn't coming to Xbox or whatever. They did say that they were having issues with the co-op getting it to work on Xbox. Um, and it sounded like, I'm not gonna put definitive words in their mouths, but it sounded like it was the Series S was kind of hampering with their ability to incorporate co-op in the game. But I don't know if that's going to be like a running thing, if that's something that can be fixed with like maybe more knowledge of the system or maybe a software patch or like again, I'm a tech person, so I have no idea. But I don't know. It's just I just that's why honestly I just wasn't excited about the idea
Not
of
your
the Series S.
forte.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Um, Nick, what's your thoughts?
Hmm? I mean, I already spoke about it, but
No, 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 no. I'm talking about Series S. Is Series S to blame? Do you think?
I mean, I don't think it's specifically to blame because I mean, the Series X clearly has its own version of a lot of these things, and I mean, you know, when it runs at 1080p on the S, 4K on the X, I mean, clearly, it has its own version of everything, but where it becomes a problem is that Microsoft is demanding that if you
Yeah, it's a
release a
requirement.
title, yeah, then it
Mm-hmm.
needs to run across both, and that's a problem.
On
Like,
both.
mm-hmm. So when if these companies ever develop something that they feel just 100% exceeds the S capabilities, then honestly, if they may make the ultimate choice to just be like, well, we don't want to deliver it for that device, and that may be a reason why, guess what? It skips Xbox. And that's
Oh man.
their
Whoa,
fault.
whoa, sir. Whoa.
Hmm.
You saying the Series S is to blame for game? Oh man. Bold.
Yeah.
It's a bold statement.
Yeah, they don't
Oh
want to
man.
have that conversation, but it is 100%
We're gonna
something that
talk
could happen.
about what you call it, Gate 3, because that's an entire can one by itself.
But yeah.
But now I just want to
It,
focus
it, it
on
can't.
Series S.
So it can't be the Series S because I'm told that it has more 4K titles than the PS5.
Mm-hmm. So I will, before I talk about Gate. By the way, what's your thoughts on Series S? Is that to blame or no?
Oh, you remembered me. Okay.
Yeah, I do remember you.
Duh. I mean, if you release a lower tier console that has less capabilities, it's basically a little bit better than the Xbox One X. I don't care what these wannabe console engineers want to tell you. You know, it's not the fucking same. Developers have been saying it before that the Series S is gonna hold back this gen, and now we have the proof. I mean, now we see that games or that the developers have difficulty, releasing a game on Xbox because they have to take into account the Series S. And clearly, Microsoft doesn't allow any developer to just say, "Yeah, we're just going to release it on the Series X, and it's not going to work on the Series S." So, yeah, the only choice developers will have then is to just skip the Xbox. I mean,
So Sim,
yeah.
going to our next guy, Maya. What's your thoughts?
Well, even to me, even with but my biggest issue with both consoles is the split RAM. I don't know why they have different types of RAM set up in their system. Like the PS5 just has like 16 gigabytes of the same RAM. The Xbox X and S have split RAM set up for some reason. that was a big red flag for me in the beginning when before the console even launched. I said that a long time ago, and now it seems that the developers are just prioritizing the consoles with the most sales. You know what I mean? So PS5 is getting the most sales hand over fist compared to the Xbox. Sometimes 7-1 in certain games and stuff like that. So why go out there and waste your time optimizing your game for a console where the players aren't really there, and most of them expect the games to go on the Game Pass. So it's
Hmm.
like I'm gonna spend my time focusing on making one. Like even I think a lot of devs just cannot handle multiple platform launches. And like I like how Hogwarts said, like, no, we're gonna hold off on the last gen consoles. We're gonna focus on next gen, and I think that really saved them because with Hogwarts, I had barely any issues, and I think with Xbox and the Series S having to develop for those two consoles on top of everything else, I think devs just aren't trying to do it. They're like, we're not trying to waste our time to program this game for this fucking like Game Boy Advance basically. I think the S is just trash. Like you know what I mean? It's
Game
like
Boy
why waste your
Advance.
time developing this game for this console that's based that's purely underwhelming. Like I don't think that they want to or they have to. Like the other guy said, if Microsoft is demanding them make the game for both platforms, then I see why something that's would just skip it all together.
Okay, gotcha. Um, stay with me because the next topic is gonna be with you. Baldur's 3 is actually skipping Xbox for now. Apparently, there is a build that they've been working on tirelessly, trying to get that shit to work. And apparently, shout out to Persona, split screen co-op is not, you know, working. We don't know if it's because of the Series S or maybe even the Series X is having issue. But what we do know is Microsoft is not included with the release date for Baldur's Gate. So then my question become: is this developer saying, "Look, we're not gonna release a broken game on your broken hardware just so we
Uh-huh.
can take flack for it"? Are we gonna see more developers do this? Because
You
they
go
could
ahead.
have easily released it and got flagged for it and had to patch it out down the line.
Yeah, so like with Baldur's Gate, people like I know a lot of like console guys, they don't like CRPGs, but that game is freaking. I had the game since like October last year, early access. Like the game is freaking gorgeous, right? And like that game takes a lot to run. Like it's not just because the characters are small doesn't mean they don't have a lot of detail, and the cut scenes are just amazing to look at. So I think it's definitely having problems on the Series S, so they're just gonna, put that off. Like we said, like I don't think devs want to release a lot of broken games anymore, and I think a lot of people are starting to like really hone in on devs releasing games that are not, optimized. That's become a big issue lately. So, you know, I think that also, like I said before, the PS5 has a way bigger install base. So, of course, you're gonna put it out for PS5 because that makes sense financially. You know what I mean? And as far as the Xbox Series S goes, not being able to do split screen, you want to have feature parity. So, and if you can't, then just don't release it, and that's the smart thing to me, and it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. What's your thought, Weep? Going once? Okay.
Also,
Only one.
just to reiterate, real quick, I just find it funny that nobody cared about Baldur's Gate 3 on console until it didn't come to Xbox, and then it became a huge topic. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah, they didn't give a. They don't care about this
come
game.
on.
yeah, I welcome to this conversation. I genuinely try to put the console war banter behind because I truly want to have a genuine discussion about what's going
No,
on
no, no,
with
no,
stuff.
you don't, Omar.
No, I do. I love the
No, we
banter, but
don't.
I truly no, I love the banter, but I truly like I'm genuinely curious if the series is to blame. If so, is this a new trend? Are developers gonna finally speak out? Go ahead, Weave. What's your thought
I mean,
about Baldur's Gate skipping Xbox for now?
I pretty much said it before. I mean, you want to make this a separate topic, but it was basically about Baldur's Gate. That this is why the Series S was a fucking mistake, and now we see the consequence of that, and that's all there is to it. So yeah, I mean, uh, either Microsoft, drops the Series S, or at least drops the requirement that developers have to make it work on the Series S, or you'll see more game skipping.
Ooh,
Of course, you can always buy the developer or the publisher, of course, because that's Microsoft's MO these days.
mm. I agree with that,
Mhm.
Weave, but it's just like, isn't didn't they come out to say that like more people have bought the Series S than the X or something like that? Like, so that would be like you'd be cutting off most of your console owners if you were to be like, you can have a choice. You can skip the S if you feel like it. I just see the backlash of the Xbox community
I don't think
if they
Microsoft
ever
is
did that.
willing to skip the S.
Oh,
I don't.
they're not. But I'm just
Oh,
imagining the backlash if they actually did that. That would be so funny.
Oh, that one is like they're literally stuck between a rock and a hard place with this one.
Mm-hmm.
they will kill it at some point. I mean, it's not the first time Microsoft kills something, so they don't give it.
Yeah, you're right. Hold on to
Honestly,
that
I
water,
think
man.
the best move Microsoft can do is pull a Nintendo, drop both the S and the X, and just come up with a whole new console. And just be
Oh
like,
man.
we're
Oh, look,
starting over from
only two
scratch.
years
Like
in the
we're just gonna
generation.
start over from just
Oh,
scratch, bro. Like
yo.
that's why I always laugh at people say like the Switch is like the is in the PS4 era, but it's actually in the PS5 because you can't. The Wii U was their seventh gen console or eighth gen, whatever gen it was. You know what I mean? Like the Wii U was with the PS4 and the Xbox One,
Yeah, they dropped that shit
and
like a
the
bad
Switch
habit.
How can you,
is actually with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X.
how can you
If you look
make
at
a
generation wise,
how I have the feeling if Microsoft were to create another console, they're gonna make a worse version of the Series X and S combined.
That's what
no,
he's
I wouldn't
saying,
see
to
that
How?
drop
happening
it and
though.
come out with a single unit.
Yeah,
No, no,
drop
no,
it
no.
all
But
together.
even then, that unit is not gonna do well. Look. How can the developers at Microsoft didn't think this one through? How can
I mean,
nobody?
we're not saying it's not going to hurt them. I mean, clearly people are going to think twice about
That would
buying their next
honestly,
Xbox.
I
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
no. I'm
No,
genuinely asking. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Morgan.
no, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I'm genuinely curious how no one from the developers at Microsoft saw this one coming. How no one uh,
Because at the end of
said
the day, it was
like
about
Series S is a mistake. We need to get rid of it.
because at the
How
end of
the
the day, the Series
yep.
S is about getting Game Pass out there. It's not.
Yep,
That's this is what it's about. Getting Game Pass in
it's
the
a
home of
Trojan
as many
horse.
people as it can at the
Yeah,
lowest price point
but
possible because they don't care about the console sales. What they want is that continuous stream of revenue from these subscription
yeah,
service.
I
So
got you on that
that's what the
end.
Series S is about.
I got you on that end, but then now they're actually missing content because of this console. Now it's no longer about what we
To be
call it.
fair
Yeah,
to Xbox, I mean that's not a new concept to them. They're always missing out on content, so it's not it's not
damn.
something. I mean, it's not. That
Morgan,
wasn't trying to be a.
stop.
I'm just
They're
saying
already
they're always
dead.
missing on games and all the time. So it's not like this would be like a new concept for them. So I can see them chalking up like going over it like at the the board when they went over the idea of the Series S. Like I'm sure they went over the pros and the cons, but I'm sure they felt like the pros outweighed the cons of like okay it may be more difficult for but hey we'll get this into more people's homes, we'll get more subscriptions, we'll yada yada yada, you know what I'm saying, it'll be a lower price point. So I'm sure they thought about it. Like I'm sure it was discussed, but at the end of the day, it's about the money, so they didn't really give a
Money
fuck.
talk, eh? Money
Oh,
talk,
Yeah, I
bullshit
think
walk.
yeah, they definitely
Microsoft made
talked
a
about it.
huge Sorry.
No, no, I was just
No, you're
saying,
good.
yeah. No, I was just saying they definitely talked about a shelf life for the S. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's the shelf life of
It's
an item is always a discussion. So,
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that Microsoft made a gamble, and they
Yeah.
thought that with Game Pass in a cheap box, it was going to fly off the
Mm-hmm.
shelf.
There you
And
go. Yep.
the thing is, gamers are not like any other content consumers in the market. You know, like we want to see the best. We've been playing. Most people have been playing games for over 30 years, so we
Mm-hmm.
want these bleeding, cutting edge graphics. You know what I mean? To like melt our eyes, and we're always looking for that next game, that next step, that next iteration of consoles. And when you
Mm-hmm.
just try to bet on the fact of casuals wanting cheap games, it's not gonna work because casuals buy iPhones every year, and I see people buying freaking $1,000 phones and shit, and I'm like, how are you buying this every single year? You get a new phone or upgrade or something. So I don't think even casual gamers are cheap necessarily, and having something cheap or accessible for $15 doesn't mean people are gonna buy it. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
sometimes you need that caviar. Like people have caviar taste, with like you know like Coors Light money though. So like even though people might not have the money, they'd rather wait and get that better console. Like you see with the Miles Morales and games like that, they keep selling every time you get a new batch of consoles that hit the market. So I
Yep.
think Microsoft made the wrong gamble. They thought gamers were going to be cheap, and they were going to like to have just a buffet when people really want to go out to PF chains. You know what I mean? They don't want to go to the Chinese buffet.
well,
But
well, I think what
they
you said though is like the key right there, right? That the one thing people underestimate about the quote unquote casuals, especially when it comes to gaming, they're going to reference the people in
The
their
hardcore people.
yeah, the hardcore people, the us in their lives, the people like us in here talking
Exactly.
about this. They're going to ask us, tell me if your sibling, if you can count a sibling or a cousin among, what I'm saying, the casuals. Tell me they not about to holla at you before they cop a new console or get one for their
Mm-hmm.
children. I
oh
am
yeah,
that
for sure.
person. Like I am definitely that person. My family, friends, everybody. So hey, I was looking at the new consoles and I can get either one of them right now and I'm at the store. Tell me what's the deal? I get that call all the time. Like, so that's why I said when people, like you said, when people, even if they were thinking about the S because of the price, when I'm done with that conversation, they will not think about that S so long as they live.
What about Game Pass? Do they care about Game
That's
Pass? I'm genuinely
yeah.
curious.
Yeah. I mean, I've brought it up to
like,
people, but some parents
like,
don't. Some parents don't really entirely understand it, and then some parents are also in and of the mind of the older stuff. They'd rather, hey, well, he
Yeah.
plays this, and this. And that costs nothing. Like he likes Minecraft,
I
he
already
likes Apex
know
Legends. You know
that my
Mm,
parents would not be a fan of Game Pass because that's just like another bill. They're like, I have to pay this
exactly.
monthly. No, thank you. I just rather get them the game that they want or whatever, like a couple times a year or whatever, and call it a day. I don't want this bill that I have to pay. Like
mm,
so, even though it's like it seems like okay, this is a good deal. All these games, like it's just some for some people that's just not. It
Yeah.
just would not roll well.
Also, I'm gonna
mm.
tell you the other reason why Game Pass isn't majorly a factor for a lot of people is because just like the mistake I seen somebody making at the store, when I went to GameStop the other day, there was a person in front of me purchasing a month of Game Pass for what you could get it online for 3 months. But this is what I'm saying. Like people are not out here finessing the system the way gamers are, where a bunch of these motherfuckers out here are paying $1 for three years and paying $60 for games with gold and then finessing the system and turning it into Game Pass for 3 years and all this and that. No, they're paying full price. So it makes it even less appealing because it's like, oh well, I could have just copped you that and that, and I know
Mhm.
I know historically that lasts you this long, and you own it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like a lot of them, it's not really a factor, and like Morgan said, a lot of them just see something like Game Pass as another bill. It's another thing to my subscriptions. I already got Netflix coming out, I got HBO, I got Hulu, and I got all these things coming
And
out, and
all
now
of them
you
are
want me to
raising their
add that?
fucking prices. I just got a fucking email from HBO that they're like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
especially on that same note, a lot of these kids games these kids play are free to play. Apex, Fortnite, Roblox, all that
Yep.
shit's free anyway. So Game Pass doesn't
Exactly.
really touch that market of people who these kids who just play these free to play games.
Yeah, like just for instance, right? Like a lot of people keep talking about the sub, right? Like the other subs are irrelevant. Well, PlayStation Plus isn't. Like the normal PlayStation Plus is still extremely a good thing, right? Like my
Hmm.
nephew, I get it for him. He doesn't even ask for anything different anymore. I get him PlayStation Plus every year for his birthday now. He knows that lasts him the entire year. He can play whatever online he wants, and he also plays a bunch of free stuff. Um, but he never has to sweat it. And then he's played, he almost always plays half, if not more, of the games that come on PlayStation Plus, and I get that for an entire year for like I think $31 is what I paid last time. Like I never pay full price. Like
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
CD
what I'm
keys
saying.
or
Yeah, exactly. CD keys, and you get it way cheaper. So it's
or
like
even Sony has
yeah,
crazy deals on PS Plus. Like
exactly. They
Hmm.
started doing it themselves. They were like, yo, don't even go nowhere else. We got you. You know.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about it, but Chia is hitting PlayStation Plus day one.
Well, yeah, and that
Yeah.
Chia
Yeah. That's
the
the indie game that
Yeah,
they said
that
that's
mod,
the state
mhm.
of play that was coming
that
to
mod.
um
I
in
mean, they just
PlayStation
put
Plus in
Forbidden
March day and
West
date.
in the PS Plus, which is crazy to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they put the remastered of the Uncharted collection in there too for March
Oh
now.
yeah.
So that's
I
cool.
mean, I get it
So
because they're gonna drum up sales for the DLC, which is smart marketing. Unlike some people don't understand marketing.
Mhm.
You know what I
Get
mean?
him in there. Get him in there. Give him enough time to get comfortable, and then the DLC drops.
Yep.
mm, and with that being said, we have come to the end of the conversation. Unless have someone have to say anything about any topic or a different topic,
No.
going once, going twice, going thrice. Yeah. Uh, Shout out to Innate for hosting. I'm still stuck with the loop. No idea why. Yeah, great show. Great people. Let's get to the outro. Where people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infant Rhizome, and you can find me on YouTube as the Weep Sheriff, formerly known as Blue Rhizome, and Auto Nation.
Gotcha, gotcha,
Modernation.
gotcha.
Otter Nation.
Okay, where people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Kaylee1103. Otter Nation.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Morgan, what about you?
Morgan, aka Chill Bandit. You can find me on Twitter. Um, Thank you everybody for all the people that came out today. Thanks for everybody who participated in the chat, and we'll see you guys next Saturday.
We had a great turnout. 90 people were watching at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, and Nate, where people can find you.
Yeah, just on Twitter at the real innate. As usual, keeping it gaming. Unlike some of these people in these Twitter streets that I
You
think
do?
only play Twitter. Um, and I'm convinced at this point some of them don't actually game and they just like annoying us to death. That actually enjoy this hobby, but yeah, that's what we do, man.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. And lastly, but certainly not least, Jeremiah, where people can find you.
Don't find me.
Yeah,
That's
that's so
that
real though.
bad.
Don't find me.
That's
It's
that
cool.
bad.
Don't find me though. That's real.
Hey,
You know,
um,
honestly, Ace, real quick, I have like 400 some followers on Twitter. I don't know why. I just, I mean, I don't know. I don't play well with others, you know. So don't follow me,
I
especially if
Oh
you're
man.
a
I
console
think
fanboy.
I've been following you for what since I interacted with you with Sick Humor at Sick Humor Show. Until you started joining to this show, you didn't even follow me, and you interacted with me. That's how much you don't care about followers, which is
You know,
funny.
it's weird because like I don't know. I just never really on Twitter that much. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's like I like people will follow me and I'm like, oh shit. Then I'll end up following them after I see like them comment on me for like after a while. Cause I just don't pay attention to that type of thing. You know?
Yeah, some people.
And most of this conversation has that's digressed into like just every single thing. Like they just cried about the logo colors and like it's everything's an argument. Like it's
Oh,
just
that's
annoying now.
definitely
It's
the
like
state of Twitter right now.
Jesus.
Everything is an
Yeah,
argument.
everything's an argument, bro. It's like for no reason. Like I don't have time for that.
Bro, I told you at one point, I was like, I'm not even sure some of y'all enjoy things like anything.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't. They don't.
Yeah, like
They are no
Suicide
gamers.
Squad, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, this is a gas game, this is trash," but people are dying for factions. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, the games you play, Call of Duty, every year has 30 million plus players and whatnot. That has a battle pass in it. I don't understand what people are complaining about. Like, just say you don't like the game, but don't make up stupid reasons like battle passes and always online. When most of the games you play have battle passes and are always online. I don't get it.
yeah,
That's how Twitter is.
yeah.
I feel you though. As for me, people can find me on Discord job on Twitter. Shout out to everyone that came through. And again, special shout out to Nate for the hosting. With that being said, shout out also to Gaming Despair for that fantastic comment. Screw Other Nation, like best comment
Wow.
out there. And yeah, great show everyone, and have a nice weekend.